It is air blast circuit breaker. So the practical view, a real view of air blast circuit breaker is like this. So we know that when circuit breaker contacts open, arc is initiated between contacts. Okay. In the same way, here in this circuit breaker also, when the contacts are open, arc is initiated. But these contacts are placed in the arc chamber. So because of this arrangement, when the contacts are open of circuit breaker, arc is initiated, but at the same time, along with the arc, pressure air is flow along with the arc. So due to that reason, the pressure air takes the ionized gas from along with it, and due to this reason, medium between the contacts, dielectric strength of medium between the contact is increased. When the dielectric strength is increased, automatically uh, arc is going to be extinguished. I repeat once again. So in this type of circuit breaker, in this type of circuit breaker, the contacts are placed in an arc chamber. When the arc is initiated, when the contacts are open, arc is initiated. We know that at the same time, the pressurized air is flow along with the arc. So due to that reason, the pressurized air is takes the ionized gas from the or that means what will happen in between the contacts. So when the pressurized air takes the ionized gas, that means free electrons, when it takes the free electrons away from the contacts, automatically dielectric strength of medium, which is in between contacts, is increased. When the dielectric strength is increased, automatically it has the capability, when we get the capability of dielectric strength more than the arc path density, automatically arc is extinguished. This is the thing happen in air blast of circuit breaker. So I repeat once again, So when the arc is initiated between the contacts, so at the same time, pressurized air is flow along with the arc. So due to that reason, the free electrons are also move along with the airflow from the contacts. When the electrons are move away from the contacts, automatically medium dielectric strength is increased. Which is placed between the contacts of a circuit breaker. When the dielectric strength is increased, automatically arc is extinguished, arc is vanished. This is the process going on in air blast circuit breaker when the contacts are open. That means this is the process of arc extinguish in air blast circuit breaker. So let's see it step by step, what is going on in air blast circuit breaker when the contacts are open. So here it is, first point. um, when the contacts are opened, so please see the slide carefully. So when the contacts are open, the pressurized air, that means air blast established by the opening of the blast value. That means, here one important thing, we place it pressurized air in reservoir, and also at normal condition, that reservoir valve is closed. When the arc is initiated, automatically the valve of reservoir is open because of some action. The reservoir valve is open. When the valve is open, automatically pressurized air is going to the arc path, along with going to the arc path. Okay, so that is the thing happen. Okay, when the contacts are opened in a flow of air blast established by the opening of the blast value. Now next point, the air blast cools the arc, okay, and sweeps away the arcing products to the atmosphere. So when the pressure air is flow along with the arc, it cools the arc, and also it sweeps the free electrons from the contacts. So then automatically medium dielectric strength is increased, which is which is there in between contacts of circuit breaker. Now this rapidly increases the dielectric strength of the medium between contacts and prevents the re-establishment of arc. So when the dielectric strength is increased, automatically there is no possible for restriking voltage. There is no possibility for restriking voltage. Now the range of this type of circuit breakers is up to, we can use 132 kV or above. We can use 132 kV and above values. We can prefer these type of circuit breakers 132 kV and above. High voltages, at the extra high voltage case, we can use these type of circuit breakers. Now, the air blast circuit breakers are finding wide applications in high voltage installations. Majority of the circuit breakers for voltages beyond 132 kV or for this type. Okay. So students, once again I repeat. So why the arc is extinguished in air blast circuit breaker? Because of simply we provide pressurized air along with arc when the arc is initiated. So when we provide a pressurized air, that pressurized air takes free electrons from the contacts. When this is happen, the dielectric strength of medium is increased rapidly. When the free electrons are moved away from the contacts, automatically arc is extinguished. So there is no possibility of restriking voltage. Okay. Now this is the thing how air blast circuit breaker is working. So now we see advantages of air blast circuit breaker over oil circuit breaker. So when comparing with oil circuit breaker, what are the advantages we can see in air blast circuit breaker? We see it point wise. So first important thing, so it is first advantage. So there is no chance of fire hazard caused by oil. Yes, this one is the first advantage. There is no possibility of fire. There is no possibility of fire hazard. That one is the first advantage of air blast circuit breaker. And second advantage when comparing to oil circuit breaker, breaking speed of circuit breaker is much higher during the operation of air blast circuit breaker. So when comparing with oil circuit breaker, air blast circuit breaker operation is very much higher, very much higher. Okay, that one is the basic operation, basic advantage. That's why we prefer. These type of circuit breakers at high voltage range. And one more thing, already at the time of current chopping we discussed. That means air blast circuit breaker arc control is independent of level of fault current. I already told you at the time of current chopping. That point is in air blast circuit breaker, arc control value, that means the speed of operation is independent of the level of fault current. Okay. And one more advantage is arc punching is much faster during the operation of air blast circuit breaker. Yes, this one is the one more advantage comparing to oil circuit breaker. These all points are just we comparing with oil circuit breaker. Okay, these are the advantages. Of air blast circuit breaker when comparing with only oil circuit breaker. We does not compare to remaining circuit breakers. Okay, we do not comparing with remaining circuit breakers. Only we compare with oil circuit breakers. So keep it in mind. So these are the advantages when comparing with only oil circuit breakers. So keep it that mind. Okay. Now the duration of arc is same for all values of small as well as high currents interruption. So this is the basic thing. The arc control in this type of circuit breaker is independent of level of fault current. Level of fault current. Either it may be a small current or either it may be a heavy current, large current. It doesn't matter. Operation is constant. This arc control value is that arc control time. The arc control time is constant, irrespective of level of fault current. Now that one is next advantage, as the duration of arc is smaller, so lesser amount of heat released. So this operation is when operation time is low. So when the operation time is low, the advantage is heat released from the arc current carry contacts, and the service life of the contacts becomes longer. When the operation time is low, automatically life of circuit breaker is increased. Life of circuit breaker is increased. So in oil circuit breaker, the disadvantage is operation time is more. So when the operation time is more, the life of circuit breaker is also low. So, but when come to the air blast circuit breaker, the operation time is low. That means automatically we can run circuit breaker in more time. That means life is very much high comparing to oil circuit breaker. That one is the one more advantage. Now, the stability of the system can be well maintained, and it depends on speed of operation of the circuit breaker. When operation time is decreased, when the operation time value is low, stability of the arc, the transient nature is also very low comparing to oil circuit breaker. Now it requires less maintenance comparing to oil circuit breaker. That means there is no carbonization effect. There is no carbonization effect in this type of circuit breaker. That means it no need to require maintenance comparing to oil circuit breaker. Students, these are the advantages of air blast circuit breakers when we comparing to oil circuit breakers. So keep it these things in mind. By keeping these things in mind, we are going for next one. So what are the disadvantages? Okay, up to now we discussed advantages. Now we are going for disadvantages. These are the some main disadvantages of circuit breaker, air blast circuit breaker. The first disadvantage is in order to have frequent operations, it is necessary to have sufficient high capacity air compressor. That means, so here in air blast circuit breaker, we need to maintain a reservoir. In that reservoir, we place air at some pressure. So we need to monitor. Continuously whether the air pressure is up to limit or not. Otherwise, we need to keep it up. We need to keep it that pressure by using some accessories. Now, next one is frequent maintenance for compressor and associated with some accessories like air pipes and automatic. So pipes and automatic control equipments is also required. Some accessories, so we need to replace. Some accessories we need to replace with respect to time. Now, one more disadvantage, due to high speed current interruption, there is always a chance of high rate of rise of restriking voltage and current chopping. Current chopping effect is there in air blast circuit breaker. The reason of current chopping means it sometimes these type of circuit breakers interrupt the fault current before it reaches to zero value. When it interrupt the fault current before it reaches the zero value, so what will happen? So a severe transient oscillations are happen. That means transient voltage oscillations are happen, and those oscillations are maybe dangerous to the life of circuit breaker. So to avoid that one, we need to keep resistance switching for circuit breaker. Okay, we need to maintain resistance switching to the circuit breaker. So to avoid current chopping, we need one more accessories to the circuit breaker. That one is the disadvantage of circuit breaker. This type of circuit breaker, that one is air blast. and there is also chance of air pressure leakage. So there is a possibility of leakage, air leakage from the air pumps junction. So we need to maintain, or we need to replace for a few operations air pipes. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of air blast circuit breaker. I hope you can understand these disadvantages and advantages of air blast circuit breakers. Up to now we can see the up to now we saw some advantages and disadvantages of air blast circuit breakers, and now we go for types types of air blast circuit breaker. So here these are the types of air blast circuit breakers. And now depending on airflow direction in along with path, depending on direction of air, when comparing with arc direction, we can classify it into three types. That one is axial blast type. This one is axial blast type. This one is axial blast type. So next one is cross blast type. So here we classified it based on airflow comparing to arc path direction. Airflow direction comparing to arc path direction, we are classified into three types. First one is axial blast. This one is axial blast, and second one is cross blast, and third one is radial blast. How can we say it is axial blast? Because in this type of circuit breaker, the flow of air is in the same direction of arc path. The flow of direction is in the same direction of arc path. That means the flow of air is along with arc path direction, along arc path direction. Along the arc path direction. So when the airflow direction is along with the arc path direction, those type of circuit breakers, those type of air blast circuit breakers, we call it as axial blast type. That we can see it in this diagram. That one we can see in this diagram. In this diagram we can say it. The airflow is along with arc. Okay, now in second type, axial blast type. Second one is axial blast type. Second one is cross blast type. In cross blast type, airflow direction is exactly perpendicular. Airflow is perpendicular to the arc. Air blast is perpendicular to the arc. Here we can see it. In the air blast, that means airflow is directed at right angles to the arc path. Airflow is exactly perpendicular to the arc path. At that moment, this type of circuit breaker, we call it as cross blast type circuit breakers. And one more type is there. That one is radial blast. In this type of circuit breaker, airflow is directed radially to the arc path. So in this way, we can classify the air blast circuit breakers based on the direction of flow of air to the arc path. Okay, now we can see first one, axial blast type. Here is the some simple view of axial blast type of circuit breaker. In this diagram we can see arc chamber. In this arc chamber we can place a circuit breaker contacts. Like assume it is moving contact and it is fixed contact. when these two contacts are open, arc is struck in between these two contacts. When at the same time, when the arc is initiated, at the same time, here it is the valve is open due to the some action, tripping action. So when the valve is open, the pressure air comes to the arc chamber. If it is a axial blast. So that means here the flow of air is also in the direction of along with arc path, so when the pressure air, when the pressure air comes to the arc chamber and it takes away the free electrons from the contacts, when it takes away the free electrons from the contacts, automatically the dielectric strength of medium between the contacts is increased, and when the dielectric strength is increased, and automatically arc is extinguished or vanished, okay. This is the thing is happened in this type of circuit breaker. So let's once again I explained. Here we can see the arc chamber. In this arc chamber we have contacts. At normal condition, these two contacts are at closed position. When the fault is happens, automatically because of relay signal, these two are open. When these two contacts are open, arc is initiated. When the arc is initiated, automatically some tripping action, air valve also open. When air valve is open, the pressure air is come to the chamber, and the direction of airflow is along with the arc. When when the airflow comes to the arc chamber, that airflow takes away the free electrons from the contacts. When it takes away the free electrons from contacts, automatically dielectric strength of medium is increased. When the dielectric strength is increased, it extinguishes the arc. The medium is extinguish the arc, okay. And so here the reservoir, in this reservoir I already told you, we store the pressurized air, and that pressurized air value is almost 20 to 30 kg per centimeters. So keep it in mind, it is very important. In this reservoir, in this air reservoir, we maintain air pressure with pressure, and that pressure value is 20 to 30 kg per centimeter square. So 20 to 30 kg per meter square, okay. So here is the points explained about this diagram. Here let's see first point. The fixed and moving contacts are held in the closed position because of some spring pressure under normal condition. Under normal condition, in arc chamber, both the contacts are in closed position. That one is first point. And next one, the air reservoir is connected to the arcing chamber through an valve. Now this valve remains closed under normal condition, but opens automatically by some tripping action when a fault occurs on the system. When the fault occurs, automatically because of some tripping action, the valve is opened. So when the valve is opened, air pressure, that means pressurized air is enter into the arc chamber. So now the moving contact is separated and arc is struck between the contacts because of emission, thermal and field emission. And at the same time, high pressure air blast flows along the arc and takes away the ionized gas along with it. So when this is happened, that means when the airflow takes away the ionized gas from the contacts along with it, automatically the dielectric strength of medium is increased between contacts, which is there in between contacts. So it has the capability to extinguish the arc and current flow is interrupted. So students, this is the working how the air blast axial blast air circuit breaker works when the fault is happen, okay. Now let's we see one more type. That one is, so one more important thing about axial blast is axial blast are suitable for high voltage applications, like extra high voltage applications. We prefer comparing to remaining two, that means cross and radial. comparing to remaining at high voltage levels, extra high voltage levels, we prefer axial blast. So axial blast circuit breakers we prefer at extra high voltage EHV lines. Okay. So because of advantages, that means advantages the air flows along with arc. The air flows is along with arc. The arc extinguish method in this one is cooling method. Cooling method. Now come to the cross blast type. Here, this one is the cross blast type. Here we can see it, arc splitters. So in this method, we are going for the approach of high resistance method. We are going for approach of high resistance method. That means we extinguish the arc by using high resistance method. Already I told you we have two type of resistance methods. We have two type of extinguish methods. One is high resistance extinguish method, and second one is low resistance or zero current, interruption method. Okay. So in axial blast we follow the low resistance or zero current interruption method in axial, in previous one. Now in cross blast we follow the high resistance method, high resistance interruption method. That is the basic difference. Between cross blast and axial blast. In axial blast we extinguish the arc based on zero current interruption method. In cross blast we interrupt the arc based on high resistance interruption method. So keep it in that mind. So we have three type of blast circuits. One is axial, second one is cross, third one is radial. In axial blast we extinguish the arc based on zero current interruption method. Now in cross blast also we extinguish the arc, but we approach high resistance method. Okay. So here it is, arc splitters. We know the advantage and we know the importance of arc splitters, because of arc splitters we can increase the arc path length. So that means when here let's see some important things in this diagram. So this one is fixed contact, and this one is the moving contact, and this one is the air. That means pressurized air, and it comes from the reservoir, and it is maintained with the pressure of 20 to 30 kg per centimeters. Kg per centimeter square. So when the arc is initiated between the contacts, at the same time valve is open, air reservoir valve is open, and due to that air is flow to the arc path. So when the air is flow to the arc path, so due to that force, the arc is struck between the splitters. That means the arc is split into number of sections. Because of arc splitters. When the arc is divided into number of sections, automatically the total length of arc is increased. When the total length of arc is increased, that means L value is increased, automatically the arc path resistance value is also increased. R value is also increased. When the R value is increased, that means the dielectric strength of medium is increased. When the dielectric strength of medium is increased, so it has the capability, now it get a capability, that means the medium get a capability to extinguish the arc. This is the simple thing is going on when arc is going to be interrupted. Okay, in cross blast circuit breaker. Now let's see point wise. Here I repeat once again. So when the contacts are open, here I repeat how the function is going on in cross blast circuit breaker. So when the contacts are open, arc is stuck between the contacts. That means arc is initiated between the contacts. So when the arc is initiated, automatically because of some action, the pressure air is enter into the chamber, and due to that pressure air, the arc is struck between the arc splitters. When the arc is struck into the arc splitters, due to the arc splitters, the total arc value is divided into number of sections. When it divided into number of sections, L value is increased. That means arc length is increased. when the L value is increased, arc resistance value is increased. That means when the arc resistance value is increased, automatically that means the medium is deionized. When the medium is deionized, it has the capability, it get a capability to extinguish the arc. This is the going on in cross blast circuit breaker. Now let's see a point wise. In this type of circuit breaker, and in this type of circuit breaker, an air blast is directed at right angles to the arc. That's why we call it as cross blast. That's why we call it as cross blast. That means the flow of air direction is exactly perpendicular to the arc. Exactly perpendicular to the arc. That's why we call it as. That's why we call it. It is a cross blast. So now, when the moving contact is withdrawn, so an arc is struck between the fixed and the moving contact, and the high pressure cross blast forces the arc into arc chute. That means we can place it these arc splitters in arc chute, and consist of arc splitters and baffles, and the splitters serve into a increase the length of the arc, and baffles give a improved cooling effect. That means the baffles give the cooling effect to the arc. So this is why arc is extinguished in this type of circuit breaker. Now we go for one more type circuit breaker. That one is sulfur hexafluoride circuit breaker, SF6 circuit breakers. This one is the real view of SF6 circuit breakers. In practically, if we can see the circuit breakers, those circuit breakers are like this. SF6 circuit breakers are like this. Okay. Now we see it one by one. SF6 is nothing but sulfur hexafluoride um, uh, circuit breakers, and SF6 is uh, an electronegative gas. It is a electronegative gas. That's why it has good dielectric strength comparing to air. SF6 has a better dielectric strength because it is an electronegative gas. Electronegative gas is nothing but it absorbs. It has a strong tendency to absorb the free electrons. So this particular gas has a tendency to absorb the free electrons. That's why we call it as it is a electronegative gas. It absorbs the free electrons. That's why we call it as electronegative gas. Now, and also one more thing, it is a this gas is inert. This gas is inert in nature, and also it is a non-toxic gas. And one more important thing is it is a non-flammable, and it is a non-flammable gas, and it is a heavy gas. We know it. SF6 is a heavy gas. So here it is these are the advantage. These are the character. This is the character of SF6. So once again, I repeat, the character of SF6 is like it is an electronegative gas, and it has a good dielectric strength, and also it is a inert in nature, and also it is a non-toxic gas, and also it is a non-flammable, and also it is a heavy gas. These are the characters. These are the characters of SF6. Now let's see. So in the same way, like air blast, here also we place SF6 in reservoir, and when arc is struck between the contacts, the reservoir valve is open because of some action. When the reservoir valve open, automatically SF6 comes to the chamber of arc chamber. SF6 comes to the arc chamber. When it comes to the arc chamber, it absorbs the free electrons which are there between the contacts. Automatically, when it absorbs the all free electrons, automatically medium which is there in between contacts, dielectric strength is increased. When that medium dielectric strength is increased, it has the capability. It will get capability to extinguish the arc. This one is the happen in SF6 circuit breakers. So same thing is the operation is same thing like air blast, but in place of air, here we place SF6. Here let's see advantage of SF6 gas. So first advantage, due to the superior arc quenching property, SF6 Such circuit breakers are a very short arcing time. When comparing to air blast, SF6 has SF6 operation time. SF6 circuit breaker operation time is very low because it has more direct strength comparing to air. So now let's see the direct strength of SF6 gas is 2 to 3 times. So 2 to 3 times that of air. So here it is important thing why we prefer SF6. Why we prefer SF6 instead of air? Because SF6 has direct strength more like 2 to 3 times of air. 2 to 3 times of air. So that's why we prefer it. And such breakers can interrupt much large currents. Such breakers interrupt much large currents. So so when the direct strength is more, definitely that definitely it can capable to interrupt more currents. Now next advantage and noiseless. It gives noiseless operation because the entire structure is placed in a closed chamber. So SF6 circuit breaker entire structure is placed in a closed chamber. That's why it is a noiseless. It gives noiseless operation comparing to air blast circuit breaker. Now the closed gas enclosed keeps the interior dry so that there is no moisture of problem. One more important, we need to keep SF6 gas moisture free. We need to keep SF6 gas moisture free. Otherwise, the moisturized SF6 gas may be damaged to the contacts, maybe damaged to the contacts of surface of contacts or surface of circuit breaker. So that's why we always keep it. It is SF6 is a moisture free gas. Okay, we need to be careful about that one. That one more thing, there is no risk of fire. There is no risk of fire. Such breakers because of SF6 gas is a non-flammable. That one is the one more advantage. And there is no carbonization deposits. So there is no insulation problems are eliminated. Okay, and in insulation problems are eliminated. So advantage, no carbonization. There is no carbon deposits. So that tracking and insulation problems are eliminated. Now SF6 breakers have low maintenance cost and light foundation requirements and minimum auxiliary equipment. Now so SF6 breakers are totally enclosed and sealed. So the total structure is placed in a closed chamber, okay, from atmosphere, and they particularly suitable where explosion hazard exists. So application is these are suitable especially where the explosion hazards exists like coal mines. So these are the advantages of SF6 gas circuit breakers. Now disadvantages. SF6 gas is a costly gas. That one is the first disadvantage. And next one, SF6 gas to be reconditioned after every operation of the breaker. We need to recondition the. That means we always keep it SF6 gas as a moisture free. That's why we need to recondition after every operation of the breaker. Additional equipment is required for this purpose. These two are the disadvantages of SF6. Now we go for some applications where we can prefer SF6 gas. A typical SF6 circuit breaker consists of interrupt units, each capable of dealing with currents up to 60 kiloamperes and voltages in the range of 50 to 80 kV. Suppose if we are going to build a SF6 circuit breaker, and in that circuit breaker we need to arrange number of units, and if the unit range is 60 kilo amperes and voltage range is 50 to 80 kilovolts, then we we need to take according to our fault current level. According to our fault current level, we need to take a number of units, and those number of units are we place in series according to our requirement. So SF6 circuit breakers have been developed for voltages. We can develop up to 150 kV to 230 kV, and power rating is 10 MVA to 20 MVA, and interrupting time is less than 3 cycles. So here it is the advantage. Here it is the advantage of SF6 circuit breaker. That means interrupting range, interrupting time, operating time is only 3 cycles. Only 3 cycles. For 3 cycles, automatically arc is extinguished. So here let's see diagram. Based on the structure, SF6 circuit breakers are classified into two types. One is non-puffer type and puffer type, and this is the circuit diagram related to non-puffer type. Non-puffer type SF6 circuit breaker. In this diagram, we can see it reservoir. Here it is air reservoir, and in this reservoir SF6 gas is maintained, and also one more reservoir is there at this place, and this one is the high pressure reservoir, and this one is the low pressure reservoir. When SF6 gas is come to the chamber, and then that SF6 gas is come outside from this gas outlet, and it reaches to the low pressure reservoir. Okay, so here it is the starting position, and from the starting position it will enter it into the arc chamber. From the arc chamber it will goes to the gas outlet, and from the gas outlet, and it finally reaches to the low pressure reservoir. That means every SF6 circuit breaker needs two reservoirs. One is high pressure and one is low pressure. Okay, now let's see in this diagram we can see it. This one is it is at open position, circuit breaker at open position. This one is the fixed contact. This one is fixed contact, and this one is the moving contact. When contacts are open, arc is struck between the contacts. When the arc is struck because of some action, valve is reservoir valve is open, and due to that one SF6 gas is entered into the arc path, and when it entered into the arc path, automatically it absorbs the free electrons, and the low pressure SF6 gases went to the gas outlet. From the gas outlet it reaches to the low pressure reservoir. That means other side of reservoir. This is the basic thing. This is the basic working of SF6 circuit breaker. SF6 circuit breaker. Okay, so this one is arc chamber. In this arc chamber we can see the two contacts, and these two contacts in this diagram is at open position. When these two contacts are open, automatically arc initiated. That arc initiate when the arc is initiated, SF6 gases flows through the arc. When it flows through the arc, it absorbs the free electrons, and that SF6 is again entered into the gas outlet. From the gas outlet it reaches to the other end reservoir. So this is the simple thing. This is the simple explanation about this diagram. It is a non-puffer type of SF6 circuit breaker. So so one more important thing, here it is 2.8 kg per centimeter. It is the pressure what we maintain for SF6. So SF6 gas is maintained 2.8 kg per centimeter in reservoir. It is the in reservoir SF6 reservoir maintained pressure is 2.8 kg per centimeter square. Okay, now suppose where now it enters into the arc chamber with a pressure of, now it entered into the arc chamber with a pressure of 14 kg per centimeter square. 14 kg per centimeter square. So it is important. So in reservoir the maintained pressure for SF6 is 2.5 kg per centimeter square, but when it entered into the arc chamber, the SF6 pressure is 14 kg per centimeter square. So keep it keep it in mind. And So when the high pressure flow of SF6 gas is rapidly absorbs the free electrons in arc path from immobile negative ions. That means when it absorbs the free electrons, and immobile negative ions are formed, so which are ineffective as a charge carriers. Now this result, the medium between the contact quickly builds up high dielectric strength and cause the excitation of the arc. After the breaker operation, the valve is closed by the action of set by the springs. Okay. So vacuum circuit breaker. So here let's see, vacuum means nothing. Vacuum is nothing is there. Vacuum circuit breaker means in between, in the chamber, in arc chamber, we maintain nothing. We maintain nothing. So nothing is there in a chamber. So nothing is there in chamber. We call it as vacuum circuit breaker. Now let's see, in this type of circuit breaker. In generally low pressures we maintain, we call it as low pressure units. We take it units in terms of torque. uh, Low pressure, we call it in terms of units are low pressure units, are we take it in terms of torque. And one torque value is equal to 1 divided by 736 kg per centimeter square. Okay, torque is nothing but unit pressure, and it is low pressure. So generally low pressure, we call it in terms of torque units, and one torque value is equal to 1 by 736 kg per centimeters. Okay. Now since let's see points. Since vacuum offers the highest insulating strength, it has a far superior arc quenching property than remaining mediums. Remaining mediums like air or SF6. So let's see, when we open the contacts in a vacuum, the interruption occurs at first contact 0 with direct strength between the contacts, building up at rate thousands of times higher than that obtained with other circuit breakers. That means, so when the dielectric strength of vacuum is very much greater than remaining medium dielectric strength like SF6 and oil or air, whatever it may be. So superior vacuum dielectric strength is superior than remaining all medium dielectric strengths. So that's why we prefer vacuum. So here it is. This is the simple view of vacuum circuit breakers. Here it is a insulating enclosure. That means outer body of vacuum circuit breaker, and the outer body of vacuum circuit breaker is made with glass, porcelain, reinforced plastic. That means the materials which are used for outer body of circuit breaker is vacuum circuit breaker is like glass, porcelain, and reinforced plastic. And this one is the arc shield. And this arc shield is made with synthetic resin. And the main thing about arc shield is it absorbs the vapor. Which is take place in contacts, which is take place in between the contacts of circuit breaker. That is the main function of arc shield. Arc shield is made with synthetic resin, and the function of arc shield is it absorbs the vapor when the arc is initiated between the contacts.
Next class center అవుతున్నారు సార్ సాంబశివరావు గారు.
ఓకే సార్, టైం క్లోజ్ చేస్తున్నాను సార్. అయితే
సరిపోయి కంక్లూడ్ చెప్పి క్లోజ్ చేయండి.
Okay students, please, I will send this PP to your group. Please read it. Definitely you can understand. It is easily you can easily understand. So I explained point by point. Don't worry. If you feel any difficult regarding this one, please send your query to me. This is about vacuum circuit breaker. So these are the advantages. If you read, definitely you can understand. Okay, don't worry. Okay, I will stop today class. I will stop today class. We will continue in tomorrow. Thank you.